What's up, everyone? I got Addie Perez here, my sister. Addie, can you just give a 60-second recap of who you are and what you do?
Well, my name is Adriana Perez. I own Texas Liquor Licensing Agency, and we do liquor permits. We pretty much help the business owner do all the paperwork in order for them to obtain their alcohol permits for their establishments. And we are established in Texas, and we only do Texas businesses at the moment. But that is pretty much what the agency consists of.
Cool. So I would say, thank you for taking the time to do this call with me, but you're my sister, so you're kind of forced to do it anyway.
A little bit, but it is what it is.
Yeah, no, cool. So, I've actually been wanting to get on this call with you for a while now because for a long time we kind of worked together on setting up some back end automations for your business and the way you work with clients and the way that you get clients in the first place. Because I thought initially there was a really big opportunity for you to be able to simplify and also optimize your entire kind of operation that you have as far as marketing goes. And so just to give everyone a quick background, a few months ago, probably actually closer to the start of the year, Addie and I were having a conversation over coffee or whatever, and it came up how she was paying for Google Ads to attract new leads for her business, which is totally cool and normal. But what came up that really shocked me and surprised me was that she who was paying for her leads, but then just sending them straight to like her plain website, and then just kind of hoping that people would either fill out the form on her website or call her. If you know anything about marketing, it's kind of wishful thinking that unless they're very motivated, that somebody's going to scroll through your website until they find your contact info, and then they themselves reach out to you. On top of that, people that were filling out your form and that were contacting you, you didn't have a streamlined process to actually reach out to them on a consistent basis. And so you were just kind of calling people back as you saw fit. Like maybe if they reached out to you, you would follow up with them, manually, with no like real process. Does that sound like accurate?
Yeah, that sounds pretty much that's what was happening at the moment. So the thing that was keeping me from getting more clients in a I would say in a more successful way was the fact that there was no automation for everything. Sorry about that. There was no automation. So I would have to manually go in and reach out to them. And the questions that I was asking were pretty much the same questions for every client that was filling out the form. So it was a lot, like very time consuming, and a lot of the clients just had very general questions about the process. Some of them didn't even have a location yet, which is crucial. So a lot of the things that I was asking them was just, the same thing over and over again. And like you said, a lot of the clients would just scroll through the website, but they didn't even reach out or anything like that. Plus, whenever I would reach out to them, I would have to like keep their contact information on my own database, but input their information, their contact info manually, and then I would have to reach back out whenever I got the chance. But there was no like automation on a software where they would get contacted again or followed up again just automatically.
Right. And you bring up a great point. And I guess we should backtrack a little bit just for context. The way Addie's business works is that when people file like fill out an application to get a alcohol permit from the state of Texas, like to be able to sell alcohol, they have to. She has to know certain details about the business to know what type of permit or like license they actually need. So some of them need like full alcohol licenses, and I won't go into too many of the details of what your business is because
Yeah.
I'm not totally like even sure myself what all of those requirements are. But from what we worked together a while back, I knew that you were having to answer these questions over and over for these types of businesses, which in most cases they kind of broke down into like three or four separate buckets, and three or four separate answers that you were giving over and over and over again for clients. Some of those clients which were not even qualified to do business with you at the time, so it was just sucking up a lot of your time to answer all of these questions manually and then follow up with them months later down the line to figure out if maybe they're ready to do business then. And so it's just a very time intensive process. And if you're doing it manually, which you were, it was just a lot to deal with. And so, what we decided to do with your marketing process is that once I noticed that you had to do all these things manually, I asked you why not, if you've ever thought about doing like some kind of automation or some kind of survey or a quiz that would auto qualify people and automatically answer some of those questions that they were that you had to answer anyways manually, in a way that was more streamlined and more automated. And so what we did is that I created a quiz funnel for you that pretty much broke down each of those requirements. So when someone came across your website from a Google ad, this survey or quiz funnel would ask them different qualifying questions, as in that would then tell our system in the back end what type of permit they would or license they would need to be able to sell alcohol. And so that would kind of separate the liquor stores from the convenience stores, from the restaurants, from the full blown bars. And it would kind of give them a straight up answer of more or less what they would need. That way, one, you didn't have to be so involved in answering those questions. But then at the end, before they could get the results of their quiz and they could get to the information that they wanted, it would ask for contact information. And that's when you would collect the emails, the phone numbers, and everything like that. And through that follow up process, now you were able to book calls. And then we set up a couple of automations on the back end as well, so that the system, not you, would reach out to these people and would even pre-qualify them for you, so that if they weren't ready to do business then, a couple of weeks later, 2 months later even, it would reach out to them again, and they would either say, hey, we're not really trying to open a business right now, or a restaurant right now, to maybe, yes, we're ready to do business right away. And so it was really a streamlined process that we set up for you. But what would you say has been the biggest difference in your workflow from before to what it is now?
Well, before I had to do, like you were saying, the pre-qualification questions myself, which would honestly take up like 15 minutes of my time with each call. So, I mean, when you add it up, it takes up a whole lot of time during the day. So now they fill out those questions, and once I see that they've completed the form, then I have already all of their answers in hand. So that way I know exactly what they need, exactly what we're going to talk about. I already have like the address that I can start researching for them. So that has just saved me a whole lot of time between calls. So that has been great. Also, I don't have to input myself their information. So during the call, I would take up name, phone number, email, all that stuff. So now whenever they fill out the form, I already have that within the system. So I don't have to input it myself. So I would say those two have been probably like out of the main things that have helped me and have really improved the workflow when it comes to getting new clients. And also, like, when it comes to recurring clients as well, there's this thing that we worked on a while back. We do inspections required by the state at the beginning of the year. So what I was doing is I was going in through all of my database and sending out individual emails for these clients to book their inspections. And what I was doing was letting them know what was happening and giving them a time frame. But just going through that database and having to send individual emails to each person took me a whole lot of time that I didn't know I could automate. So, whenever that happened, that's when we got together and we also made that campaign. So that was awesome.
Yeah, I think that one was huge, because then we were able to segment people that are current clients now in a way that's really super simple. People that are current clients versus people that are brand new clients, or that maybe haven't had their license, or haven't filed their permits before. And like you said, we created an email campaign around the time when inspection needed
Inspections
to
were
be
new.
done. Yeah, and then we just sent out a couple of email campaigns, and then we racked up. And it was funny. We racked up a bunch of people that were interested in you servicing that, and that it was just kind of quick influx of cash for your business. And I remember it was a funny thing because I never had worked with a business where people were literally replying to the emails and asking
Yeah.
for you to invoice them. And
Yeah,
so,
well, that's kind of what my thing was. Like, I think that I have such a close relationship with my clients, and I do care a whole lot about each one of their businesses individually, that whenever I let them know, like, "Hey, this has to be done. Let me know if you want me to send you an invoice." They just hate, like, "Send me an invoice." And that like you said, that was really funny. Like, I would have never seen it from your point of view until you pointed it out. I just thought it was, like, a normal thing, you know?
yeah, that's awesome. And that's why
Mhm.
also I think it's super important that we just keep following up with people because you know how you can help them. And so it's in the best interest of both parties for you to keep following up with those people. That way they don't run into any issues because I know you've actually saved some people from making some major mistakes with their business that could cost them like thousands of dollars if you weren't working
Mhm.
with them. So I think that's a really good thing. But other than that, can you think of anything else like as far as like the results we've gotten for you? I mean, just in like how many clients were you able to help out with those inspections just from
Oh,
the
man.
couple of email campaigns that we sent out? I mean, obviously you're a local business, so you're not going to be able to take on 1,000 clients at a time or something. But
Mhm.
I mean, for a local business owner that has been in business for
2
a
years.
couple of 2 years,
Mhm.
like how many clients were you able to help just from those email campaigns?
I believe it was like 120, like 120.
Yeah, which is insane.
It is pretty
Yeah,
insane.
right? And so cool, awesome. But yeah, I think that is all the questions I had for you. I'm really happy that we're
Okay.
able to kind of tag team this. And those are
Mhm.
campaigns that you can also continue to run obviously once the next season of
Right,
inspections come due. You just have to replace the year and then
right.
they're pretty
Yeah, I
much
think
done
that
for
most
you.
of them are, like anything that has to do with like holidays or I don't
Mhm.
know, things that are yearly. I think that those could be reused just as they are. So yeah, I do
Exactly.
thank you for that.
Yep. 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 But yeah, I really appreciate you, like I said, taking the time to hop on the call.
Of course.
And yeah, if we do any more work, we'll be sure to get on another call and then talk about that later on.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Awesome.